Florida's Women in Energy Leadership Forum was launched to inform, inspire, motivate diverse talent to join the energy workforce by intentional recognition of current female energy leaders who contribute to growing Florida's economy and the purposeful sharing of their professional journeys. We are creating opportunity. Join me each week as we meet new leaders in energy and listen to their important roles in an industry that is vital to the country's future. Welcome to this edition of Florida's Women in Energy Leadership Forum, our podcast. I'm really happy today to be able to introduce Jay Stowe, who is the CEO and director of JEA, one of the state's largest, if not the largest, Jay, you're going to have to correct me, municipal utilities here in our great state. So Jay, welcome, first of all, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And for the listeners and viewers who may not be familiar with the municipal utility structure in Florida, tell us about JEA, where you are in size and scale, and the services that you provide.
So first of all, thank you very much for letting us be here today. We're excited to be a part of this discussion and the work that you're doing every day. Jacksonville is Northeast Florida, and we serve come up in that area. And I don't know if the size of our system versus other municipals are real critical, but it's one of the measures that we use. And so in the public power world, we're about the 8th largest municipal electric utility in the country. We also have water and wastewater, among other services, that makes us one of the largest ones in the country on that side too. So maybe the 4th or 5th largest municipal utility in the country, which gives us a lot of size and scope, and it's all good stuff. A good team of people up here in Northeast Florida.
And clearly, I know just a bit, obviously, about JEA, and you're one of the major contributors in the Jacksonville area in terms of economic development and employees and award-winning reputation. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, the wonderful things you're doing to really bring up the profile of JEA in that regard. But there are only a handful of municipal utilities in our state that have both electric and water. And so, with the conversations now about sustainability and affordability, are you able to leverage one or the other or use both to really enhance efficiency and sustainability? And what are some of those things that you've done? And of course, I want to talk about offerings that you provide to address the affordability issues too.
Yeah. So again, the idea that we have multiple services that we provide, and traditionally, we've called it water and wastewater. Those are merging more and more often in the resiliency world, and the legislature passed the zero discharge to the river. So water is water. And so we serve a lot of customers with water. We serve it with electric. We have some natural gas sales. We do some dark fiber sales. We take care of the streetlights in the city. So all of that helps make us more efficient because we're able to spread all of those costs around and across the whole system. So I think it makes us stronger and better. It's one of the values of being a municipal not-for-profit owned by the city of Jacksonville. So it's all, I think that makes us a stronger and better organization.
And do you think from a customer perspective, they view you as a company that is closer to the community?
Oh, absolutely. I think, first of all, our primary focus is to serve our customers. And by focusing on serving our customers, we're able to kind of work towards our mission. We talk about wanting to improve lives and build community. And we can do that because we are in direct connection with our customers. We have programs to help our customers. We understand, I guess, that our customers that we serve, oftentimes the second or third highest bill that they pay each month is to us. we think that that brings a lot of value, and it allows people to do things because we're foundational to the community. When we do our jobs well, everyone else can do theirs well. And that allows economic development to prosper and the whole area to prosper. We also do things with our energy efficiency programs, and we have a neighborhood energy efficiency program to help customers that need help to lower their bills. We work hard to be able to do that. So I think serving our customers is primary and top of mind.
Not a lot of people realize, unless you're really close to what we do for a living, that companies considering moving into another state, one of their driving considerations or driving factors is the cost of electricity. Is JEA, you mentioned economic development, is JEA very active in economic development councils and your chambers to recruit companies into the Jacksonville area?
We are. I think it's actually one of our primary jobs. We talk about and focus on protecting the public safety, public health, in order to support the community with economic development. So public health, public safety, economic development. In the end, we're a utility, but really what we are is an economic development engine for the community. We don't take the lead on economic development efforts. We support the Northeast Florida, JAX USA, and the city of Jacksonville and the other surrounding economic development agencies. And we've got a team of people, and we're rebuilding that team right now. We've recently hired a vice president of economic development to be able to help focus on how we can serve Northeast Florida the best way we can.
And is it growing? I mean, I think just from outside looking in, I mean, as you know, my home base is Tallahassee, and all of my visits to Jacksonville, I see growth.
Yes.
I see changes on your council and in the business community and in the schools. Yeah. It seems to be a very, and certainly down, St. Johns County, you can really see economic opportunity and growth there.
I don't know that this stat is exactly right. So as long as you don't check this,
we won't check.
We'll say it. But I do know that over the last several months, there have been lots of these reports that come out in magazines, and oftentimes we're in the top 5 of growth in the country. Jacksonville and this metro area is growing very quickly, and it's our job to be able to serve that community, and that's what we're gonna keep on doing. But yeah, we're growing a lot.
Good.
It is a lot, yes.
Well, Jay, I can't believe I have found this, but as you know, I served on the Public Service Commission for a number of years ago. And it was during the time when we were all applauding JEA for its move from oil to, at the time, petroleum coke, and really looking at clean coal technology. And on one of the tours, we were given a souvenir of petroleum coke. And I still have this. I looked all over for it this morning. I'm happy that I found it. Just from a historical perspective, the date on this, it says North Side Repowering Project, first solid fuel, October 23rd, 2001.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say we've come a long way since this was a good thing, right? And so let's talk about that. JEA was also one of the first municipals to really embrace solar. So talk about your fuel mix right now.
Yeah, our fuel mix is still about 57% or almost 60% is natural gas. And the coal and the pet coke that you're talking about is about 10%. We are in the middle of an integrated resource plan that is looking at what our long range view should be for our generation mix. And as we start to accomplish that and really see what the scenarios are bringing out, I believe that we will see a continued change, like every place across the country, with a push for more renewables. We still have the Northside generation plant that you toured, that you saw, that has pet coke and coal, and it's still a workhorse for us. But I believe that over the next, in this IRP period, there's a 30-year look, that over the next several years, we're going to start to see some adjustment in that. We're going to want to do more carbon neutral We're part of Plant Vogel that's
Mhm.
supposed to be coming online next year. That'll be zero carbon emission. And I think that'll become a focus for us to be sure that we are reliable, resilient, and environmentally, socially aware.
And obviously, we can't ignore that Plant Vogel had its share of controversy for, the folks that don't think nuclear energy plays a role in a fuel mix. Clearly, it has benefited you, your customers, rates, and stability. Otherwise, you wouldn't be moving forward with using that mix.
So Plant Vogel is has a long history. We're looking forward to the time whenever it comes online, and we're going to be able to get that zero carbon emission as part of our mix. It is expensive and it has been long delayed. We are optimistic that the schedule that is being presented now is going to be something that's going to be positive for us, and that we will have the first of the 2 units up and running sometime in calendar year 23, and the second one in 24. And I think it'll be a good thing for us long term, but it is a
Good.
long time in coming.
Yeah, right. It has been. So let me just take a pause and remind our viewers that you can type in questions if you're watching with Facebook or YouTube. Please, Jay is very willing to answer questions. So, Jay, another item, obviously, we shouldn't ignore, and I want to give you an opportunity to comment on this. JEA did go through a rough period of criticism and negativity where clearly some of the customers lost faith in JEA. Other stakeholders in the community didn't trust JEA. There was a question about whether JEA was for sale or not for sale, and obviously you came at a time, thankfully, where you were given an opportunity to really bring up the reputation and address all of those concerns. You've devoted a lot of time to rebuilding that trust in the community. Have you found it to be difficult? Can you see the progress?
Well, first of all, we recognize that there was this crazy period of time that Jay went through. I think the most important piece of this is that there's just over 2,000 employees at JEA that, regardless of what was going on, kept on running the system and operating the system. And I get to sit here and talk to you and represent them, and I work for them to be able to help make the best that we can make out of JEA to be the best utility in the nation is what we want to be. So first of all, the reason that we're in as good a shape as we're in right now is because of those 2,000 plus people that worked hard and continue to work hard every day. So I've been here for just over 18 months. And I have spent nearly all of my time focused internally, building a leadership team to be able to rebuild the trust in the community and with those 2,000 employees. And it is a slow progress. And I think rightfully so. I don't think that the employees should, just because I showed up, say, okay, well, now everything's great. Let's go. We have to be able to build that trust and build the team to be able to show them that we're making improvement. So we're working on our core values and being sure that we are focused on safety. We want to not only physical safety, which is typical for a utility, but we are trying to put the emotional well-being of our people first too. And then the last 2 focus areas of our values are respect and integrity. We want to show respect for each other, have courtesy and respect is one of the things that I preach over and over again, but it also pulls out diverse perspectives. And so diversity is included in that respect. And integrity should go without saying, but if you go without saying, then sometimes it doesn't happen. And so we want to place the highest standards that we can on integrity and ethics so that we can do exactly what you just said. It makes us worthy of the trust that our team members, that are the employees and the customers put in us. And so that's the focus that we've had. And we're going to keep on doing that. The only way to do it is every single day. So that everyone in the whole organization lives and breathes those values, and we're trying to make all of our decisions through the lens of those values.
Yeah, absolutely. And having met a few of your leadership team members now, and of course you on several occasions, leading by example, right? So you might be preaching it every day, but I think you and your leadership team are demonstrating those values every day. And,
Yes.
and we know leadership starts at the top. So we have an audience question, Jay. What are some of JEA's next steps towards renewable integration?
Well, some of that will come out of that integrated resource plan that we kicked off at the beginning of this year, and so the end of this calendar year and on into the spring of next year, we'll have that completed, and then we will understand what the right direction, right mix will be, and I believe there'll be more of it, and we'll keep on working towards that. We're going to let the integrated resource plan help kind of paint that picture for us and not get too far out of line with what that IRP tells us to do.
Jay, so you're not from Florida. What was it that interested you about JEA?
Well, I joke with people that I'm not from Florida, but but people come to Florida to retire, and so maybe I can come work for a few years, and then I'm already in Florida. But the real driver is that I think that my entire career, really even more than my entire career, because of my family background and my father and my grandfather being in this business, my entire career has been focused on publicly owned utilities. JEA is an important public utility. And so whenever I saw what was going on, and I followed what was going on because it was a big deal in the public utility and APPA and the public power world, I thought there may be some things that I might be able to do to help. I wasn't sure that I could. The board went through the interview process and decided to give me a chance at this. And I felt like I had the skill set and some of the experiences that might be able to help JEA. Jacksonville, Northeast Florida is a fantastic place to live. We love being able to be here and to be part of this community. And so that was icing on the cake, but I felt like I had something that I might be able to offer, and the board has given me this opportunity. And then I get to work with this great group of people. I really love working with the leadership team, and then to support the 2,000 employees that are doing this job, just a fantastic job every day. Makes it fun. So I'm enjoying doing it.
What was it in your background, though, that could have prepared you or, let you use the skills that you might have already had in terms of what you must have known you were going to have to address an employee morale issue or a community trust issue? There must have been something about that where you really sat down and thought, can I do this? Will this work for me and for them?
Oh, I sit down and ask that question every day.
You're not done asking.
Yeah. I mean, I think it really is important to be able to ask that question. What am I bringing to the table every day to be able to help make JEA a better place? Other people can decide whether that's working or not. I think it's working. I think we're making progress on that. I think that my strong belief in the public power and the public utility model was the base for this. And then my understanding of how strong JEA as an organization was financially, the community, the growth in the community, and the size and scope that we have. With the size and scope that we have the I don't know the right word, but the wherewithal. We have the skills, the knowledge, the sophistication to be able to do some really positive things to help this community be the best that it can be. I have that background from working in a small utility, in my first job on the public side in a small utility in North Carolina, slightly bigger one in North Carolina. I was in Huntsville Utilities in Alabama for 11 years. I spent some time at TVA. So from a very small utility all the way to the largest public utility in the country, provided me this interesting background that also had water and wastewater and fiber and natural gas and electric experience that there's not a whole lot of folks that have that exact background. And the board took a chance on me being able to do some of this thing, and it mostly my doing the work every day. And
That's wonderful.
things are going well.
That's wonderful. You mentioned diversity earlier, and I want to give that the attention it deserves, because I know from speaking with you now several times, it is on the forefront of everything you do and you talk about. And so for the folks out there in the audience that haven't had an opportunity to sit with you yet, why is diversity so important to you?
Well, we serve this entire community, and we should work to be able to respond to that community most appropriately. And I don't think diversity is important for diversity's sake. I want to be clear about this. I think it is. You've got to get the right people in the right jobs, doing the right thing, and the broader perspective that we have, then the stronger we're going to be. And the more we look like the community, then the stronger we're going to be. And we've got a lot of work to do on the entire organization to be able to do that. And we don't have lots of turnover, which is a good thing. It's a sign that we're a good place to work. And so none of this is about numbers. This is about how do we set the stage in order to be as diverse as we can, as thoughtful as we can about it. And it's important because it makes us stronger and better. It just simply makes us stronger and better whenever we have diverse viewpoints at the table.
And so you've done that at your own table. In your leadership team, you've really taken a concerted effort to make sure that the folks around you don't look like you. They're not telling you just what you want to hear, right? Do you want to talk about the steps you took to really evaluate the leadership team? And I guess, are you done, Jay? Do you feel like you've got it to where it needs to be for now?
We're never really done. But the leadership team that we have in place, the direct reports to me, there's 7 fantastic individuals, and they are diverse. And not a lot of utilities, I think, look quite like we do at that leadership team level. There's 5 women, and in a utility, to have 5 women at the table, I think, is important. We've 3 African Americans, and we're diverse in a lot of ways, including age, and all of that I think is positive. The most important piece that you said was people that are not going to tell me what I want to hear.
Right.
There are some days where I wish they would tell me what I want to hear a little bit more.
Exactly.
But the reality is what we need is some dialogue, some push and pull to be sure that we're making good decisions, because I don't know every answer. I don't have every answer. And in fact, if I thought I had every answer, then I wouldn't need
2,000 people, right?
Or a leadership team that was going to help us with this, because what we really need is to be able to make the best decisions that we can. The other important thing is that I didn't hire anybody because of the way they looked. We did want to cast a broad net. I wanted to look across the industry and across the country and across where can we get the right people. And some of the folks were here already in a role, and we moved them into this role. Some of the people we went out and searched for. Some of the people I had relationships with in the past, and I brought to help support what we're doing. And that part was also able to speed up some of this process of building a team, because I already knew a couple of them. And then we have people that have been here for 8 years, 18 years, and so 19 years. So that provides us a broad view of history. It provides of the organization. I've worked with our CFO. I've worked with 3 different places over the last probably 20 years. And so that brings a broad view of history with me in the relationship and how we are going to work and make decisions. And so all in all, we just are a really strong team that's still really new. So the last of the 3 last team members that came on board were August and September of last year. So we're not even a year into that part of the team building. And I think because of the way we went about doing this, which was to look at, were they competent? Did they know what they were doing? Do they have the character, the integrity that we talked about earlier? And then the most important piece for me is the chemistry of the team.
Right.
Are we able to discuss things? Are we able to push back on each other and still respect each other? And so far, that's worked great. So we are quote unquote done with building the leadership team, but now we have to make the leadership team work really well and then teach the extended leadership team and the other 2,000 employees what we expect, set that vision so that we can support them in doing the job really well.
Great. And I forget, I think this is your second year. Are you in your third year yet?
Oh, no,
right?
we're 19 months in, so we haven't crossed over the second year yet. I got here November 30th of 2020.
Right.
However many months that we're still counting in months.
It flies by. We're already half the year. 2022 is gone.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So let's turn to you personally. You're an engineer by trade.
Yeah, don't hold that against me.
Yeah, I know. I say the same about lawyers, right? What's the education path that you took to get exactly where you are, right? So which college, what did you think you were going to do with an engineer degree, right? It's probably not what you're doing now.
No. So I grew up in a family where my, I said earlier, my father and my grandfather ran water systems in North Carolina. I grew up going to water plants, wastewater plants, construction sites, learning about things there. And so when I went to college, I didn't know any other, I didn't know I had a choice. That's all I knew. That's what I wanted to do. I liked it. And so I went into civil engineering at NC State in Raleigh. And I decided somewhere along the line, and I was not very creative. This was as creative as I could get, is do civil engineering in the water and wastewater field. But I didn't want to do exactly what Dad had done. I went all the way to consulting, and then I was a consultant to help water and wastewater utilities. That's as creative as I could be. So I did that for about 4 years, and then I got my professional engineer's license and had the opportunity to go to work for a public utility, a small municipal utility, Newton, North Carolina. And about maybe 2 weeks into my job, I realized that's what I love to do. I was able to be involved with the community. You asked a question about economic development. We get to touch every single thing at a utility like JEA and everywhere I've been. I got to be able to serve the customers. I knew what was going on in the community. It was just a fun place to be. And I realized very quickly that's what I love to do. So my education was engineering, civil engineering, background in water and wastewater field. And I worked in consulting doing that for about 4 years. And then I switched over to the public utility side with water, electric, wastewater, gas, fiber, all that sort of stuff, running systems and working with lots of really great people along the way. So I don't know. I might have got off track on your question.
It was it reminds me, Jay, in water, we always talk about as an industry how personal water is and how folks in the water industry really become very collegial. There's a camaraderie in that industry. And I'm going to take a guess that circle of friends and network your father must have created for himself would have bled over into your relationships. And literally you were keeping it in the family there with your legacy work. And I'm sure he was very, very proud of you. And I'm sure you took great comfort in following that same path there for a while.
Absolutely. And I know you sent a note on some of the discussions we've had. My father passed away about a month ago. But he spent 50 plus years in this business and knew lots and lots of people and was really very, very involved in the water and the wastewater side of the world. Yeah. And so I've built kind of a relationship with people, but I run into people all the time that knew Dad. In fact, Renetta Marshall is our chief operating officer. And whenever we were doing the interview, I had not met her before. We're doing the interview. I realized that she had worked for an organization that my dad was on the board of early in her career, and she and Dad had worked together.
Wow.
And so yeah, that legacy kind of goes on, and he taught lots of people, not just me, not just my brothers, but he taught lots and lots of people about utility business and about how to be better leaders in the utility business. And so it's an honor that I get to. If someone confuses me for him, I couldn't ask for anything more than that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And thank you for sharing that. I've said to you before with the Florida's Women in Energy Leadership Forum, I really believe that we can inform, inspire, and motivate others when we are willing to share personal stories. You give it new meaning when we talk about going into our family's business, and it's something to be proud of, right? And it's just so interesting how your path to where you are now had a lot to do with what your father and others in your family worked in, and it certainly exposed you to the industry, right? So we had a question from the audience. What has been the most rewarding about your time at GEA so far?
Well, it sounds like a pat answer. It has been the people that I've gotten to work with and to see them. The work we do, you talked about it being personal. The work we do really is personal. We provide these essential foundational resources to the community for people to do what they do. And you know that because when anything happens and it doesn't work, then people call very quickly and they want to know.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, the 2,000 people that work at JEA take that seriously. And the personal stress that it put on our employees for the period of time that things were in turmoil is something that you can see and feel on their faces. And to hear people lifted from that and to feel like that they're on more stable footing and that things are going well has been rewarding for me. So the most rewarding, I don't know if that's it. So the people, I guess, is the rewarding.
There's nothing more important.
The other piece of this is that I can't reiterate enough how much I love working with the folks on the leadership team. And I think that we are going to, as a group, and the broader group of the 2,000 employees, I think we're going to be able to make a long-term difference in Northeast Florida. And so it's almost overstated or overwhelming to say it that way, but I think that we have this important role. I can't quite describe exactly what it is. It feels like we are at this pivotal moment where we have this important role to be able to support economic development and the long-range future of Jacksonville and Northeast Florida. And that will give you chills whenever you start to think about how.
Well, and especially when you start to think that you are in the short term supporting the economy in Northeast Florida, but such a large contribution to the entire state. Jacksonville is not a small area in the state of Florida. So I'm sure it can be overwhelming, but humbling at the same time.
Yeah.
So last question for you. See, this didn't hurt very much.
No, not too much.
Yeah, not too much.
You're not done.
Your last. Yeah, I know. It's a good question, though. It's not a bad question. We have students that come to the forum, and we have students that listen to the podcast. So, based on your personal journey in this profession, what advice would you give that second year college student who wants to join the energy industry?
I'm not sure that it's energy industry so much as organizations as a whole. I mean, it is just being part of a workforce and a broader community. Do something that you love. We spend a lot of time kind of at work and supporting things. So do something you love. If you want to be in the energy business, the water business, the utility business, I can't think of a calling that's more important than that because we support so many things. Be willing to learn. Treat expect to be treated with courtesy and respect and treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a character trait that makes you scream and yell at people, then figure out how to get away from that. You're going to be better served long term if you can treat people well, and treat people with courtesy and respect. And I think I want to say this without it sounding like you've got this organization that is Florida Women.
Florida's Women. Florida's Women in Energy Leadership Forum.
So the primary group of people that you are reaching out to and supporting are women in energy. Somehow along the way, we have gotten this gap. I'm glad that you're doing things like this, because we've got this gap where there's more men in this business than there are women in this business. If you're a young woman that wants to be able to do this, then be confident that you can do it and have the skill set to do it, and treat people with courtesy and respect. But you are smart and able, and so have confidence while you're doing it. So I'm going to keep on going back. Courtesy and respect is the base for everything else, but the rest of it is treat people well and be confident when you do it. So that might have been a little bit too many pieces of that puzzle, but there's a lot of positive things that you can get. And you said second year out of school into this industry. The other piece is be patient.
Yes.
Be in this for the long haul. But yep.
Great advice. So Jay Stowe, I'll tell you what, I respect you. I respect you. Thank you for everything you're doing, not just in Jacksonville, but for Florida. And thank you for joining the Florida energy industry and becoming a significant player already. Really, congratulations and thank you. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.